The following episode was recorded live at a kink festival. Imagine wandering through a crowded kink event and catching the faint sound of someone baring their soul just beyond a velvet curtain. That's what this episode invites you into. This is the Erotic Realm Confessional, the world's first live anonymous kink confessional booth, set up inside a real kink festival. Over one unforgettable day, strangers stepped inside, unseen, and whispered their rawest truths into a microphone. You'll hear them exactly as they were recorded, unfiltered, anonymous, and surrounded by the soft hum of kink in motion. You'll hear music, you'll hear conversations, you'll hear people having a kinky time in the background, but mostly, you'll hear what it's like to confess your desires with no one watching and everyone listening. If you don't usually wear headphones, you might want to for this one. It's like leaning in to overhear something you were never meant to hear. The Erotic Realm Confessional is proudly sponsored by Adult Bliss, Adelaide's ultimate destination for kink and sexual wellness. Just a 10-minute drive from the CBD, Adult Bliss has proudly supported the kink scene for years, offering the best selection of gear, including unique, locally made treasures you won't find anywhere else. Whether you're exploring new fantasies or looking to deepen your sexual wellness journey, they've got you covered. Visit adultbliss.au and use the code EroticRealm25 for a cheeky discount of 15% off and a free gift. And I'd personally like to thank Adult Bliss for being such an amazing sponsor and helping the Erotic Realm Confessional come to life. And now, back to the show. Welcome to the Erotic Realm Confessional, where you confess your desires. Enjoy. Okay, welcome back to the Erotic Realm Confessional. Who do I have with me now?
You have, I feel like I've got to remain anonymous if I'm giving anything to you.
Sure, you can be anonymous if you like. Would you like a pseudonym or just anonymous?
Just anonymous. Honk and bonk.
Honk and bonk. Okay, and what are you here to confess?
I'm here to confess that I have ridden somebody's face purely out of revenge. Somebody's ex-partner they were really cut up about. And we worked together on something, and I just wrote their ex's face because I knew that I just needed revenge.
Okay, this is a very juicy confession. I don't think we've had one this juicy today. Is revenge something that you enjoy being part of your eroticism, or was it just something that you had to get out of your system?
It was purely the most petty thing I've ever done in my life, and it felt really good to be petty because I'm usually such a people pleaser. And it was like, I'm like, do you know what? Somebody else's extreme upset does not negate my mild desire. So I just engaged in some mild desire and platformed my own feelings for once, and it was divine.
And is this something that you haven't told anyone? Is that why you needed to confess it today?
It is something that, actually, I don't even feel guilty. I've got like a little shit-eating grin on my face right now. It's delicious to be naughty sometimes.
And are you naughty in this way a lot, or is this something new?
This kind of naughtiness is definitely new. It was involving in the pettiness, it was involving in the sexiness, the naughtiness, and doing something naughty sometimes is part of the fun, I think.
And does this mean that there's going to be a change in your kinks or your desires moving forward, or is this a one-off thing and you're going to go ahead how you were before? What's happening now in the future for you?
I think I will be occasionally, sometimes petty. You're allowed to be petty. You're allowed to want things a little bit, and other people's thoughts, as long as everybody is consenting and fine and it's all above board, you're allowed to take what you want.
You sure are. So let's chat about your other kinks. So it sounds like petty is kind of a kink for you at the moment. What other kinks do you have?
I definitely, oh my God, it's almost easier to say what don't I have. I definitely love predominantly being dom, but I have enjoyed exploring my sub side recently. Bondage and restraints and spanking are always really fun. I think the exploration of a connection and a power dynamic either way is really interesting. And life's short, so switch it up.
Amazing. So do you find that you switch with one kind of partner? Are you submissive with one, dominant with another? What's the vibe there?
I think I generally like setting a scene and being in control and making sure the other person is really enjoying themselves. I think I've come to the point. Oh, this is gonna sound really like bad, but it's like I'm gonna have a good time with someone if I'm the one in control because I am a good time. So that's usually my safe bet. It definitely needs to be a little bit more intimacy and know the partner for me to indulge in giving over control.
So we know about your kinks at the moment. How long have you been exploring the kink realm for? Is it a new thing for you? Have you been in it many years?
Probably delving into it to the way that I am is fairly new. But I've always been like a kinky motherfucker. When you play Dungeons and Dragons and you're a horrible little nerd and you read anime, it just kind of seeps into you. So I think unapologetically calling it what it is, it's probably been like 2-ish years. But I've always had that thing where people are like, whoa, at me. And I'm like, oh, I thought I was vanilla, but I guess not.
So would you say that you were born kinky or it was something that you grew into?
I'd say I hit puberty kinky and weird.
That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah, the world is my oyster. I'm like really looking forward to maybe some more group experiences, playing with my partner, stuff like that. But I really, connection is the most important thing for me. And I think even just something light, look, man, there's nothing kinkier than missionary and full eye contact when you're like autistic. So like lock eyes with me, look at me right in the eye. I can still get off on that, man.
And what's the sexiest thing in a partner for you at the moment? What's the thing that you're most attracted to?
I definitely like thick and curvy, and I think also that moment, that look in their eyes of like surrender, that moment where it's like, oh, I'm really enjoying myself. Because there's always a performative element for a little bit when you're recent with someone, but when you can just tell that they're really enjoying themselves and that sigh or that moan releases their lips, that's beautiful.
Amazing. So do you have any desires that you've never shared with anyone and something else that you would like to confess today? You've already confessed some really juicy stuff. Is there anything else that you would just like to get off your chest? I feel like you're the kind of person that would share with us.
I'm going to do it. Why not? One of the things that I asked really early when I was exploring my kinkier side and when I was much shyer, and I haven't actually tried it, and I still haven't tried it, but I asked an ex-partner about water sports. They made fun of me so heavily, and then they made fun of me in front of my friends, and then everybody called me piss guy for a while, and I had to, it's Australia, you got to banter. So I just was like, ha ha ha, tears welling up in eyes. Now I'm finally at the point where I'm like, I don't even know if I like it or not, but like, you know what? Maybe I want to piss on someone, maybe I want to get pissed on. Grow up, be an adult.
Yeah, it sounds like you're ready to explore and find out if it's a yes or a no, or, even if it's a maybe.
Exactly.
Well, I'd like to thank you for being so open and sharing so much about yourself and confessing some juicy details today.
Fully dilated confessions, baby. All the way open.
Thank you, Hong Kong Bong.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're back in the Erotic Realm Confessional with a new person that wants to confess. Who do we have here?
My name is Hugo.
Okay, Hugo, and what should we know about you in terms of your kinks and sexuality?
I started exploring kinks and various interests with girlfriends, and we had an adventurous enough sex life. But then, after being single for the last year and a bit, I threw myself in on the deep end with Oz Kink Fest last year. And decided to kind of test my metal a little bit, and like that was a really amazing experience that gave me a lot of peace. And I've been continuing to kind of push the envelope a little bit over the last year, and just seeing where it takes me. So hopefully this week goes well.
I'm sure many people are wondering what happened at Oz Kink Fest last year.
Well, I won't name drop the individual, but I ended up responding to a application on FET where someone was looking to do a scene at KK. So I did more of a social night at Hellfire Resurrection, and then when Club Kunst was on, I ended up getting fisted and sounded by a very experienced dom that I think potentially I didn't know what I was doing at the time, and like it could have been a risky situation to put myself into, but due to the nature of her professionalism and her kindness, it ended up being a very validating experience.
Sounds amazing. So what was validating about it? What were the feelings and thoughts that you had about this experience that made it validating?
Part of the exploration of like being submissive with partners had been the realization that I always knew that once the play was over, that was someone that, like, you know, I was in a relationship with. I loved, I trusted, and you know, we had a different dynamic. But being able to enter it on a purely femdom basis was a new adventure for me. And having dealt with body image issues and self-confidence issues and stuff in the past, she said during the aftercare everything that I needed to hear to really feel appreciated and complete. And it went really well. And I felt, as I said, like validated by the whole experience.
Okay, so that's your experience from last year's Oz Kink Fest. We're here at this year's Oz Kink Fest. Do you have any desires or kinks that you're looking to explore this year, or a different idea compared to last year about what you'd like to have happen?
I've put some feelers out there. I've been in touch with a couple of people, and you know, they've had various levels of interest. But yeah, like I think mostly, like, I'm really excited to be here for the social part of it, to meet more people. I'm keen to observe more and, like, you know, watch the stage shows and stuff like that. And if the opportunity comes up, I've got a couple of ideas. Yeah.
Can you share with us one or two of those ideas?
I'm into water sports, so like I'd love to be on the receiving end of some golden showers. I would enjoy organising a CBT scene at Club Kunst, and I'm also open to suggestions.
Okay, so let's go through both of those. What is it about golden showers that you enjoy?
I think it's the taboo of it, and the fact that it's something that's supposed to be private, and if someone chooses to share it with you, then they're kind of blessing you with a bit of a gift. And I was overjoyed to find that, like, I could make my my girlfriend at university squirt, and I managed to teach my subsequent girlfriends to do the same. And once I realized that, you know, there's female ejaculate, there's, you know, the Skene's glands and stuff like that, but like at the end of the day, there's like a certain amount of it that is also urine. And I was like, hey, if you're okay with one, you're okay with it all, whatever, just like in for a penny, in for a pound. So yeah, I just think that, like, vaginas are sacred, and that I would worship anything that I could from one. You know, I'm not necessarily into blood or anything like that, but like I think that like it's a beautiful thing to share with someone. So I appreciate what I get.
And what about CBT? What is it about CBT that you enjoy?
I think that there's a certain element of it that like it goes back to I've been working through some trauma therapy and stuff this year, and like I have to recognize that some of it is maybe like, you know, trying to have a way of putting myself in vulnerable situations and having them go right, to sort of fix the hurt that happened back in the day. But you know, I'm just a bit of a subby masochist, and like if I can offer my body to someone for them to experiment and like carry out any of their curiosities, then I've got enough experience that I feel confident putting myself in that situation, and I'd like to volunteer my body to their service.
So you mentioned that you're a subby masochist. What is it about pain that you enjoy? And do you like emotional pain, physical pain? Tell us about your enjoyment of pain.
I've done a lot of work on my mental health over the years, and I think that the degradation is not something that I'm actually after. Like I describe myself as a sub with self-respect. And you know, if I volunteer my body to someone, like I expect them to like to treat that with the respect that it ought to carry. And so yeah, I'm not about like, you know, humiliation and degradation. Like I like to have fun, and I've found that I gain pleasure from pain, and that I've you know, in solo play and paired play, like I've done chem play, botanical play. I've done like, you know, like sounding, fisting, this, that, and the other. Like and yeah, so like I know that I have limits that maybe surpass like what your average person might be okay with, and hey, I'm happy to open that box of toys and, you know, let someone play around, you know.
So you've told us a little bit about some partner play that you had last year, which sounds like it was somewhat of a peak erotic experience for you. You've just mentioned that you do solo play a lot as well. Do you have a peak erotic experience that you've had through solo play alone that you'd be happy to share with us?
Yeah, so like I have a relationship with like an online dom that like sets me challenges and sends me rewards, and so she's got a bit of a sadistic mind and likes to come up with reasonably adventurous things to do. So am I free to like speak about anything?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So she assigned me the task of coating a sound with deep heat to use as lube, and then sounding myself and filling my hand with hot sauce to jerk myself off with hot sauce, and to inflate an inflatable butt plug in my ass. And then it wasn't actually too bad, and I found that the chems worked more on the glands than the inside. But the worst bit was actually when I got in the shower in the end, and like, you know, the hot water washing it off, I ended up passing out. So.
Oh my goodness. It's pretty funny actually, because you're the second person today that's talked about hot sauce. And yeah, which is surprising to me because I haven't had anyone else mention it on the podcast yet. Yeah. You also mentioned deep heat in the same session.
Yeah.
Which one was hotter? Which one was worse? Which one was more painful?
I used a really spicy hot sauce, so it was like, yeah, that was the killer. and you know, worse than like, you know, the penis. It was on the like scrotum that like really got to me.
And you did mention that you passed out in the shower, so I think we should touch upon that. If someone's thinking of doing a similar thing to themselves, do you have a way to stop that from happening, or
Keep
to
the
make
shower.
to make the experience more safe?
I would suggest keeping the shower cold rather than hot, and I would suggest cleaning yourself sat on the floor rather than stood.
It sounds like it was quite a surprising experience. So we are in the Erotic Realm Confessional right now. Do you have a kinky confession that you'd like to make?
Well, you know, the other probably top level like task that she assigned me was to, when I was back in the UK, because there's worse stinging nettles there than you can get in Australia. So she had me pluck the leaves off the stinging nettle and sound myself with the stem. So that was another pretty adventurous scenario. But as far as like a confession goes, like I just want to meet some people, make some contacts, and hopefully enjoy some golden showers over the weekend.
Amazing. Well, thank you for being on the Erotic Realm Confessional and confessing today, Hugo.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for listening to the Erotic Realm Confessional live from Oz Kink Fest. If you want to support future episodes of the Erotic Realm Confessional and help keep this project alive, become a paid subscriber over on my Psychology of Desire Substack, psychologyofdesire.substack.com. I'll put a link in the episode comments as well. This support will fund the gear, the travel, the editing, and the magic of the Erotic Realm Confessional. And if you'd like to bring the Erotic Realm Confessional to a festival in your city or your dungeon, your play party, or kinky gathering, simply reach out. I'd love to make it happen. You can grab me at emma@psychologyofdesire.com. Until next time, stay curious, stay embodied, and keep exploring. Also, as always, stay perverted.